Okay, this is my third video today. I'm on fire, in fuego. So, I was just listening back to the last one I made. And, you know, since I started making videos, I always say my dogs before my kids. And then I say, oh, I should say my kids first, right? So I should, shouldn't. Those are ego words. So I did it again in the last video. I'm probably going to do it in every video. So I gently asked my heart the question, why do I always say my dogs first, then my kids? Is it just that I keep creating that story that I should, and then I keep redoing it like law of attraction? And the answer is no. It's that when I'm dealing with dogs or animals, it's easier to get the forgive them more, they don't know what they do. It's easier, just like a baby crying. You can get frustrated, but you give the baby like the benefit of the doubt. My goats buck each other in the head. I'm like, what are you doing? You know, stop, you're gonna knock each other out. It's still that they're still just goats, you know. Okay, my kids, they fight. I expect more out of humans that I can communicate with than I do out of goats, dogs, whatever animal I have. So in that way, Jesus, just say with people who drive BMWs. It just seems maybe that's a story that I create too. Person's like coming up behind me, like about to ram me because they're over the line. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay. I'm not going to take it personally because they're doing it again. Both sides of the line, they're clearly probably on their phone while they're driving at least 80. Anyway. That's just what's happening right now. Back to my awesome story. So, I give my animals more of a benefit of the doubt than I give to my children. So my animals become easier to bless, forgive, respect free will choice, and love than my own children, because I expect more out of my children because they speak English, and I've already said whatever I'm saying. I've probably said it 1,000 times. Whereas I know that my goats and my dogs don't speak English. And I know they're just being animals, and they don't understand me. Okay, so I just have an easier time dealing with the behavior of my animals than I do with my children. So my children make me a better person. My children are what grow me. My children and their behavior is what helps me practice bless, forgive, respect, free will, choice, and love. My children help me practice the 5 agreements, be impeccable with my word, because they understand English. Don't take anything personally, because they're kids. Don't make assumptions, because maybe I don't know what happened on the trampoline, you know. Always do my best, because I'm their mother, and I need to prepare them for a future that I'm not in. And be skeptical, but learn to listen. Okay, so my children help me practice the chapters of my book. I care, I don't care, I don't mind, I allow, Zen. So my children are what push me forward. They're my opportunity to grow. They're my whatever challenges me more is going to be my pathway towards being like Neem Karoli Baba, Ram Dass, any enlightened master. My animals are easy. You know, my children are where it's difficult. So I end up, when I'm talking about accessing love or accessing peace in the moment, I usually talk about my animals first, and then my children right away. And my ego's like, oh, you keep saying it backwards. You're supposed to say kids first, then animals. Okay, the point is, as I'm accessing peace, the animals come first because they don't speak English, and for whatever reason, it's a different situation. Then my children, then whatever, then whatever, and then whatever. Okay, so as I access the peace by myself, then with animals, then with my kids, then with my spouse, then with my dad, then with my community, then with the outer world, on and on and on, like that. It doesn't matter where I start. It matters that I start. Find the peace, find my peace, come into the moment of that peace, and then start practicing peace. Practicing bless, forgive, respect, free will, choice, and love. Practicing it. And the video that I just made, I don't even know what to call it yet. I ended up talking to the patriots, the people in the high level vibration, because I'm watching them in reaction to the normies throwing tantrums. And the whole thing is, the normies throwing tantrums are like my children, you know? And the other patriots to the patriots, so the patriots and the bikers for Trump, those people, the bikers, those people are all about freedom. They're normally in a very high vibrational freedom reality, feeling free, riding their motorcycles with other people who enjoy freedom and other people who enjoy riding motorcycles, living in a free country, on and on and on. So if I'm a biker for Trump, I have a higher vibration, generally speaking, and then when I'm around other bikers for Trump, they have a higher vibration. So it's easy for me to be in that. Is it an echo chamber? Yeah, sure. But it's easier for me to be around other bikers for Trump because it's like we're all in the same we're all in a similar vibration. So I don't have to practice bless, forgive, respect, free will, choice, and love. I don't have to practice the 5 agreements. Those other people are getting their own peace. They're not taking anything from me. The normies throwing tantrums in the streets because they're totally brainwashed and programmed by the mainstream media, those are like children. You're expecting too much out of those human beings just because they may be your age or adults, or there's some story that you've assigned some kind of a meaning to, that these people are voters, these people are this age or that age, they should know better. My children should know better than to ever fight. My children should know better. They should. They've been told countless times, keep their hands to themselves. Don't hit, I tell my daughter, you cannot, I tell my son, you can't hit your sister. Your hitting is harder than you think. But at the same time, he says, it was worth it. It's worth it. And I tell her, you can't hit your brother because he's not allowed to hit you. And so they're both young, so they're both learning, obviously, but they should know better. Both should know better. I've said the same thing. I'm very repetitive for consistency, so that it's easy, I say the same thing. Anyone who follows me on Renegade Yogi, geez, people are just hyper today. All right, so I'm going to detach from that reality and see what's going on. Wow. Oh, man. So it's getting exciting out there. All right. So I was saying in the last video, if you're like one of these, First and Second Amendment loving, Constitution loving, flag waving, anthem standing and singing people who love living in a free country, however free it is, right? You just love it and you feel freedom and you love freedom and you're all about freedom. There's a flag right now and a veteran thing. Okay, there's a lot of people that have fought for this country and have gone overseas and died for other countries to experience freedom. It's a big deal. And I stood in the American soldier burial ground in Normandy, France. 30 years ago almost. If I had all the money in the world, I would make every high school student in the United States go there and stand there and commune with the spirit of that and understand. That's white privilege. That's white privilege right there. Anyway, I'm a patriot. I've lived overseas and I traveled all over the world as an airline pilot and as a corporate flight attendant. I've traveled to other countries and I watch news from other countries about the United States, and it's hilariously different than what you get in the United States if you turn on the news. I watch people in the United States and in Puerto Rico, cop in Puerto Rico, people with cell phones making videos, putting it up on social media, Twitter, some lady in Afghanistan crying, saying, we know this is not United States citizens, we know this is our government's. And if you don't know, most people don't know that the United States has been in a declared state of emergency for human rights violations worldwide since December 21st, 2017. And if you don't know that, then you should really pipe down, because you don't know what's going on, okay? Really don't know. And you're going to look cringy, okay? So anyway, if you don't know that the U.S. has been in a declared state of emergency for human rights violations worldwide, and if you don't know how many pedophiles were locked up in 2017 compared to 2006, 2008, 2010, if you don't know, then there's a lot you're missing. A lot you're missing. All right. So, still bless you, love you, forgive you, respect your free will choice to throw those tantrums. But if you're a patriot, if you're a freedom, gratitude, empowerment person, you cannot let the normies get you down. Watch them, look at them, listen to them, because they tell you what they're seeing. They tell you the programming. You can go on Twitter and you can see the programming for yourself. They spit out the narrative. My son is in middle school. He joined servers with someone else so that they could all game together. I don't really know what I'm talking about right now, but anyway, it's my son's 8th grade group, like a big group, joined servers with some other group from some other place to have a larger gaming experience, because everything's online right now for these kids. My son was called a racist, Islamophobe, and a sexist, all in the same day, and I helped him handle that. He wasn't upset by it because he knows he's none of those things. And it was funny because I know the narratives for those 3 things, and each girl, who's always a girl, it's this fake empowerment thing that's like really, it's this fake empowerment where you got to push boys down to lift girls up. You got to push white people down to lift black people up. It's all bullshit. It's all total crap. But people are buying it. So that's the reality we're all collectively experiencing. These girls know all the talking points, and they were able to spit it right out at my son. Bam, 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 bam. Of all people, I didn't expect this from you. So we're all living this collective reality. It doesn't make it true. It's just programmed talking points. It's all BS. Fine. That's the reality we're living. That's what's happening now. That's what's happening now. It was funny though for me. I had more of an issue with him being called a sexist because I was a female airline pilot. And I said, you tell them, da-da-da-da-da. And he's like, no, I'm just going to let that go. I'm just going to let that go. I'm like, okay, you're right. But there I was trying to tell him what to say. I did say, you need to take these people's concerns seriously, because you do care about these people and you do love these people. And so you do need to say, look, I looked again, I looked at everything you said, and I take it very seriously, and your, you know, your concerns are important to me. And he did all that, but he dropped it. And it was like, he was keeping his vibration at peace instead of sweating nonsense. So that's all I'm saying. Okay, bye.